A rookie police officer willingly takes the last shift at a newly decommissioned police station in an attempt to uncover the mysterious connection between her father's death and a vicious cult. Jeff, this week on That's Terrible, we're going to talk about Malum.
I'm excited for this one.
Excited for this one?
I've been wanting to see this movie for a while, so it's funny that you chose this one.
It had quite the buzz, and I wanted to choose this one because of the story behind it. So not only are we going to talk about Malum, Jeff, what else are we talking about?
Last Shift.
Last Shift. For those who are not aware, Malum is a remake of Last Shift from the same director.
I was unaware of this.
9 years after Last Shift, he felt the need to remake this movie.
He pulled an Eli Roth, you know?
He sure did. Only executed it better. Yeah, Malum. The synopsis there says it all. But Jeff, what did you take away from this movie?
Just a different take on The Last Shift. I think I told you my introduction to it is I saw the poster and people were starting to talk about it, and I thought that someone either from Japan or like they have those foreign films that just do it so much better, like Ju-on and stuff, and I thought somebody from over there watched Insidious and they're like, dude, I think we can do that creature better. And I was so fucking pumped, because can you imagine that the demon from Insidious, but as a foreign film, would be super soaked. But yeah, I liked it. It was definitely a different take. It had a different ending. I liked how much they went into the cult stuff more than Last Shift. So, but I enjoyed it. Definitely recommend it.
Wow, just jumping to the end, right in the beginning, Jeff.
I didn't. Not jumping into the end. No. It's like one of those stories where you read the first sentence and then you read the last sentence and then you're like, if it hooks me, I'm gonna listen.
If it hooks me, I'm going.
That time.
Oh, great! We just lost half a dozen people. All right.
Sorry.
No, the question I was actually asking, Jeff.
Oh,
what is your synopsis of this movie?
Oh, well, you should. Dude, I'm tired. You gotta be more specific.
Tried to do it elegantly. It didn't work out so well.
So basically, The Last Shift that is updated as far as visuals go and not as good of an ending.
Really? Wow.
Okay.
All right. Well, the way I would describe this movie is a rookie and foolhardy cop decides to learn why her dad killed a bunch of cops, and she doesn't want that answer. She doesn't want it.
Okay.
Yeah. She gets an answer. She doesn't want it. Malum. Jeff, what did you count in Malum?
I counted in both Malum and The Last Shift, but since we're talking about Malum,
I mean, you can do them both.
I mean, they're both the same category, and it is called the Heebie-Jeebies.
Ooh. The Jeepy Creepies?
Yeah, the ones that make you crawl out of your skin. Yeah, I had let's see, the scene where she's hiding. Or wait, no, that's The Last Shift. My bad.
Man.
Oh, dude, the rope through the throat. With the fingers.
Making the head explode?
Oh, yeah. That was definitely heebie-jeebies. We had the demon, Malum himself.
Pinhead-looking motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. Fuck. One thing that I thought was really cool that I surprisingly haven't seen in a horror movie yet was how they use those contacts in some of the spirits or whatever. They look like fish scales, like they're reflective. That was kind of wild.
I didn't catch that.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. It's not on all of them, which is interesting that they wouldn't choose that. But Yeah, it's just on a couple of them where the light hits it and it just looks like a rainbow fish scanner.
Not what you want to see in a dark,
No,
decommissioned police station.
no, I'd rather not. But yeah, that's what I counted.
Okay. So I want to break down a little bit of this movie, or these movies, both directed, as I said, by Anthony DiBlasi. This is pretty much what he's known for, are these two movies. He's
Okay.
got some other stuff in his repertoire here. Nothing that I've seen, and it appears he kind of started directing about 2009. That was when his first movie came out. And then our lead in Malum, Jessica Sula, she was in Split. Did you recognize her from Split?
No.
She was Marcia. Marcia?
Like one of the final girls or no?
I don't. She was one of the friends at some point.
Okay.
That is all I remember.
I don't remember her being.
Yeah, she was not the biggest part of that movie, but she also was. She was in there quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
That was the only thing that I like picked out, or I was like, oh, she looks like that person. She was also in that in the Scream TV series. I found out. I did not remember her at all, and I'm a big fan of that show.
Oh, I never finished it.
Oh man,
I know.
I don't remember what season it was, but yeah. Otherwise, not a lot of names that I could pick out in either of these movies, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The first one, of course, Last Shift, because it is a much more independent, low budget thing. Like that just makes sense. Though the lead in that one did go on to a decent level of fame, I guess you could say. So Juliana Harkavy plays Jessica in Last Shift. She had quite a significant role in the Arrowverse. She was Black Canary in The Flash and Arrow and Legends, like in all those.
No. What? How did I miss that?
I don't know, man. She looks very different.
Way.
Like very different back then, I guess. Or maybe it's just it did a lot with like mood lighting and stuff. Yeah, I didn't recognize her at all.
Oh, that's why. No, I was thinking of somebody else.
Okay.
I think. No, just like in Arrow, because I watched every season of that. But yeah, I'm thinking of Laura from Arrow. But
okay, I don't know who that is.
Now she looks familiar. Now she does.
Oh, there you go. Now you've done it.
God, I love that movie even more now.
Well, there you go. So why don't we talk about it? Why don't we talk about them? I mean, they're both
Okay.
They're both cult movies. I like that.
I'm down.
Yeah. So the Last Shift, just to take this in, I don't know, chronological order, I guess. That one, the cult itself gave me more of like a Manson family vibe.
Definitely.
I mean, they were talking about Payman, who was not the demon Payman. Maybe there's some allusions there. John Michael Payman, as in the cult leader, your Manson stand-in there, and Mr. Joshua Michael. I don't know. I thought he did a good job in that movie as playing this sort of. You don't see him too much. You see him in a couple of interviews and stuff. He did a good job of playing that character, like a Manson wannabe, is how I felt about that. And then we come into Malum, and it's much more this like demonic, cosmic god sort of cult that I appreciated even more, because that's my shit right there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's the Lovecraft type shit. It's not on that level. Again, like I think Pinhead is a great comparison because they're like just demons here to fuck with you sort of thing. you know?
Pretty much. Yeah.
I thought it was weird that they kept that asshole cop. The the captain or whatever.
Yeah, turn around. I didn't say to walk away.
You remake this movie and you keep that scene. I don't get it.
I don't know. Maybe he loved it.
I don't get it, man. Very interesting the way they changed Jessica's father, though, from hero to villain cop. I wonder if that's a sign of the times. You know what I mean? The shifting perception among some people. It was a lot more interesting the second way around for me.
Okay.
Because he goes on this like crazy rampage, and then her being, this rookie cop that kind of just wants to follow in her father's footsteps and also find out like what happened. But all the other cops she runs into are like complete dicks because of who her dad was.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, daughter of a cop killer, cool. Like, dog, I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
I know, but why would you still go into that profession?
Yeah, I mean, you got to know what the optics look like, right?
You would assume so.
I mean, she just wants them answers. I sort of get it. In Last Shift, it wasn't really a search for answers, which I thought was a good and a bad thing. So you said you like Last Shift more?
I do.
Okay. I didn't really appreciate the coincidence of it all. You know what I mean? Like, she is this guy's daughter. She didn't even like know that this was the place that he worked. He didn't really know. She didn't really know, all those connections. Whereas in Malum, it is a deliberate choice, and they take that a little further. But I don't know. It just seemed too coincidental in Last Shift.
I mean, coincidences happen all the time, man. I mean, look, you picked a movie, you didn't even tell me what it was, and then I'm watching Last Shift, and I'm like, wait a minute, are we fucking watching these movies? Coincidence? Yes.
Okay, you make a great point that I cannot refute. It's definitely a tale of two movies. The Last Shift is a low budget, like very progressive building of tension that culminates in a very sad end for our character who gets shot, and it's kind of left up in the air exactly what happens, but we're to assume that she died much like her father did. Whereas in Malum, another thing that I appreciated is it was entirely the plan of the cult to have her father make a sacrifice, as they would call it, to get her there, to get her alone, to do this, that, the other thing, and essentially sacrifice her sort of to make her the queen of their demon cult.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I think from a story standpoint, Malum is better. But from a viewing standpoint, I think Last Shift is better.
Why? Like explain.
Because it had that found footage feel without being found footage. It was so low budget that it just felt really fucking real. Like the graphics weren't, all of the makeup and the visual effects and everything wasn't so top tier, which made it just feel that much more realistic to me. There were definitely scenes where I felt very uncomfortable. I felt very claustrophobic, and I think I really liked it because I haven't had a movie do that to me since The Woman in Black. And there's one scene, and it kind of had some similarities as far as visuals go. Just where, once again, it's kind of grainy, it's dark. Nothing's too crazy. They didn't put a bunch of budget into the visual effects. And there's one scene, man, where she's like on the other side of the room, and she just quickly comes up to the camera, and it freaked me the fuck out. It made me jump. And there were scenes in this movie that did pretty much the same thing, like where she was hiding in between all the empty file cabinets, and that fucking spirit was just crawling around. You hear all the bones crunch and stuff. It was just like that little bit of detail just made it feel a lot more realistic. Whereas Malum, obviously, it still looks good. It's definitely up to par with modern horror movies that are coming out now that they're shooting, and they're putting a shit ton into CGI and everything like that and makeup. But it just didn't feel as real.
Yeah, it was a really good decision for them to make Last Shift the way they did. I wonder how much of Malum was the original plan, right? So Malum goes, like, it shows you the demon, like it goes more into the supernatural aspect, whereas Last Shift was like, oh, this is just a cult, a human cult sacrificing for a demon, right? Whereas Malum is the demonic entities coming to haunt her. I mean, the cops on the phone being, John Malum himself, and then her being visited by the 3 cops that got murdered. Just it takes the singular cop from Last Shift, who was also killed during the raid that killed her father, and the girl that called her, who was one of the victims, right? It takes that and kind of steps it up. If they had tried to make 9 years ago, if they tried to make something that was a little more supernatural and visuals on the budget they had, it probably would have been bad.
Yeah, it would have gone right under Piranaconda for sure.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, absolutely possible. But at the same time, they're too. I appreciate that they called it something different, because
absolutely,
if it was just a straight up remake of Last Shift, it would be very easy to say, "Oh, Last Shift is better," like the first one.
Yeah.
This is like the Aliens to Alien. This is like the action horror. There's a lot of people getting shot. There's a lot of shotguns. There's, the blood drenching from the girl's head exploding, which is not how heads work when you're hung by a noose. But I don't know that firsthand, but
what I could guess
from what I've seen in articles. So from that lens, it's really hard to pick which one I think is better, because I enjoyed them both quite a bit.
Yes.
And I did also appreciate that there was a certain level of restraint with the budget of Malum. And I mean, it's not to say this was like a couple $100 million thing. It definitely wasn't, but it was higher budget. And even so, they didn't do like a bunch of CGI.
Thank God.
And if they did, it was hidden very well. There was nothing that stuck out to me. I was like, oh, that looks rough.
No, because that Malum demon is good because it's practical.
Yeah, and it was a cool. I think this Malum is a movie that's like, here's a lot of cool choices that were made in respect to the original. I mean, the original cult was all about the sheets over the head and everything. And then we come to the end of Malum, we see that demon, and it's basically like his skin is a sheet. It's stretched out into a pentagram and everything. And then, like Last Shift, when the dying Jessica has the sheet put over her head, Jessica and Malum has the demon take his sheet off and put it on her head. Like, there was just some cool stuff that I don't know. I just kind of wonder if this was the original vision, because why would you even do this? You know, what makes you look at a movie you made 9 years ago and go, I should remake that?
Maybe it was just the ending alone. Because I mean, I like a good twist. I always compare most twist movies to Secret Window with Johnny Depp, because that was like the first one that I actually processed in my head when I was a teenager getting into thrillers and stuff like that. So I always like those kind of movies that are more like the psychological twist, to where it's like, yeah, she just killed, like, the guys that were supposed to throw away all the biohazard stuff, and
Yeah.
so I like that aspect of it. But I think maybe he just thought, he's like, I wonder, like, what if it was the cult behind the entire thing, and like it was all part of a plan, and then it would make that movie that much better. And then, I mean, that's a reason alone, I think, just to do it again.
I guess so. I just feel like Last Shift was ambiguous enough that you could kind of see that being what it was. And I guess that's probably a negative, where Malum is much more overt in explaining all this stuff to you. Whereas I feel like when I watched Last Shift, I got a very similar story.
Yeah.
Ending aside, I mean, the ending of Last Shift sort of just makes you believe that she's another victim of the cult. And the ending of Malum, she's the demon's wife now, or whatever.
Exactly.
I mean, both very enjoyable movies. I would say that much.
Absolutely.
I thought the sound design in Last Shift was a really big star of that movie. Like you said, the crunching bones and stuff. Like it was a slow build tension, so they had a lot of that like little stuff that they threw in there that made it really unsettling. I think that's the right word.
They didn't use the formula that they use today, which I also saw in Malum, which we all know the formula. Someone opens a door into a dark room, there's nothing there. Turn around, something's there. They didn't do that in Last Shift.
No, and you could see a ton of those, right? Like, I mean, even that prison cell, when she goes in there and the bodies just drop from the ceiling. Like,
yeah,
that, I thought that was a good one, because she spots the guy in the corner and then they drop from the other side. I was like, that was great.
Yeah.
But then you have, like, she's at the shooting range and she brings the targets up and one of them's got the pentagram on it. She rips it down and there's, right behind it. There was some of that stuff I still consider like cheap, especially for a director who made a sufficiently scary movie without those things 9 years ago. You know what I mean?
So good. Yeah. Because when she walked in the cell in the Last Shift, they let you sit in the dark for what feels like fucking forever. And then that's where you get that like unsettling, like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like this has to end, because this is a problem.
Yeah, it's one of those. I heard a quote a while ago and it really stuck with me, but it's basically like, you aren't afraid of the dark, or you're not afraid to be alone in the dark. You're afraid that you're not alone.
You're afraid that you're not alone in the dark. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and it's like one of those where you're just like, oh, there's something else in here.
Tell that to my daughter.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. Bring her up on that one.
Yeah, she'll be fine. She's not scared of nothing, man. Dude.
Okay.
This is a tangent. I just want to lead by saying she's fine. Everybody's fine. So she can reach on the kitchen counters now.
Oh God.
Just like I'm sitting there like playing with her. She gets up, she runs away as she does. I'm like, you've been gone a minute. I get up, I walk over to the kitchen. She just got like the biggest knife that we have.
No.
Anyway, she's fine. So, favorite things. What either movie doesn't matter which one.
I liked.
I can start if you want me to.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of which one to start with. So yeah, like Malum, I did write down some mentionable scenes that when she gets shot with the shotgun by her father's ghost, that definitely caught me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Or no. When Nope, I got the completely wrong scene. When they're at the shooting range and the dad goes around with the shotgun and they're having the
Oh,
two police officers are having the conversation.
and it just
Just fucking bam. That that caught me off guard.
yeah.
Um, that was that, and yeah, that and the visual effects. You know, all the cool makeup that they did for the demon, the whole fish eyes thing. The bags over the head look cooler. I like that they did the makeup underneath the bags. That seemed just that much better.
Yeah, I like how they were like torn, and you could see their like fucked up teeth and eyes below. I thought that was cool. It definitely
Yeah.
gave you that like supernatural aspect to it, like we were saying.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, for sure. What about you?
you know, I'm a big fan of this. I like when she accidentally shoots her mom. Yes, I had to
I'm
say it like
so bad
that.
with it out loud.
When she thinks she's shooting the demon, and she actually turns out that she shot her mom.
Ah, pull the strangers, got it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not it's not the only movie we're going to talk about today that does something like that. But that was cool. I really appreciated a lot of the acting in Malum. There were some moments in The Last Shift where our rookie cop Jessica, I mean, she had some, we'll call them fun character traits. Like I liked the fact that she was reciting the police handbook to like comfort herself and to like let her know that she can do this. But there was just a lot of stuff in Malum where I felt the characters were like well thought out. You know, I got the sense of unease from the cop on the other side of the line who turned out to be Malum himself. The the cops that show up, were they like some like hazardous material or paramedics or somebody else shows up. I can't remember exactly what.
Oh, yeah, I don't recall either.
But
Yeah,
anyway, it all seemed believable enough to me, and I thought the interviews, especially with the cult leader Malum, in his movie, were better and distinguished himself differently than Payman did. Again, he felt a lot like a Charles Manson in that movie.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but Malum was different. He was a different kind of guy, and that was the acting that really shone through there. And we got a little more backstory on him. We actually even got some like a scene or two outside of that, kind of flashback style.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, I like when a movie ties it all together for a reason, even if it is a little unbelievable. You start picking it apart. Well, how did they know that her dad committing this massacre was going to lead her here? That sort of stuff. But I like that was the plan, right? And
no, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of stuff I really liked in these movies.
Yeah, they're both super solid. I really liked them both.
I tell you what, Jeff, I want to see a Malum game. It's like so there's a game series called Clock Tower. Okay. They started out as like, I know you're not super thick into it. You know what a point and click adventure is? Where it's like 2D and you click on a space and you walk over there, that sort of thing. That's how those games started out, a long time ago. And the whole premise of those games was you were running from a serial killer with giant scissors, basically. I distinctly remember it had to be Clock Tower 2. It was a bit more, a little bit more 3D, you know, where we were entering the era of Resident Evil and Tomb Raider and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You were put in situations that I liken to what Malum was in this abandoned police station. Like at some point you're in an abandoned hospital and all this stuff. But most importantly, every now and then the phone rings in that game and you answer it and it's just a voice that says, "I'm going to kill you." And
great.
You know, I was a child, scared the living daylights out of me. So a Malum game in the spirit of Clock Tower. Chef's fucking kiss.
Oh, that'd be, yeah. I could see that.
That's what I want. So let's speculate just a little bit here. Mostly on the last shift end. When you finished that movie, did you feel like she just died and it was just an unfortunate night for her? Did you get any sense that it was some sort of plan or anything like that?
No. I imagine that it was just all in her head, and she kind of got the Jack Torrance, if you will.
Yeah. Okay.
that case of cabin fever and just going crazy with ideas and probably super exhausted and just went all in her head.
Yeah, because they give you a lot to be skeptical about, which I hadn't really thought about until right now. That last shift could have totally been just in her head. Whereas I don't feel like Malum gives you that same sense. Right? And
No.
I think that kind of goes kind of against what you said, and like that it kind of feels found footagey.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the thing with the Outwaters, right? Like if it's found footage, you know it's real, sort of thing. But I totally get the sense, thinking back on it, that last shift could have just been in her head. Now that's a twist.
Something to chew on.
She was dead the whole time.
Dun dun dun.
No,
Bruce Willis right now.
Yeah. I agree with you. I remember the first time I watched Last Shift and I was like, oh, that was a nice little contained thing. Didn't even cross my mind that anything more was brewing underneath the scenes. If you were gonna remake one of these movies, what would you change? I would take out that scene with that fucking cop.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a little weird.
Just like tonally, just doesn't make sense.
I don't know what I'd change, man. It's got everything that I like about horror movies. I like the creepiness that a cult movie brings, and how I liked more in Malum that when we saw like shots back of the cult leader, that he was calm and collected and seemed like everything was going to be okay and gave you that sense of safe. And that's really how all the cult movies are, is like you have this safe space, and that's why you trust the leader and you kind of do what he says. And then on top of it, the little cherry on top is it's also, somewhat possession.
Yeah.
Which are like my two favorite types of horror movies.
Yeah.
And so it's just a perfect blend of both. It's really hard to say what I would change at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing to change, mind you, but for me, I think the ultimate version of this movie just combines both of them. I think you take that subtlety and that intrigue from the first one and you apply it with some of the sensibilities of actually getting into the demons in the second one. And the plan. I think the plan, we need to find out about it later. We need to find out about it organically. But I think that's important because, Jeff, tell me this movie wouldn't have been perfect with some hidden background shit.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know. I wouldn't
just
have seen it. I never fucking see him.
cult members just doing the business in the background.
Dude, yeah, no. I mean, I I would agree. Maybe maybe in another 9 years we can look forward to a third one, the last Malum, and it'll be fucking.
The last Malum. I hope the thing you said comes true.
Ooh, we'll start a hashtag Walrus. Yes,
Oh yeah, petition.org. And you too can fund this by sending money to Cash App. We don't have a Cash App. So you already gave out your recommendation. Would you recommend them both?
I would. I would.
I agree.
I can't even tell you which order to watch them in, though.
I think the chronological order is the best way.
Think so.
But it's kind of the beautiful thing about them is you can watch them either way. You know,
Yeah.
like even knowing what was going to happen, the way that they made Malum gave me just like little shreds of doubt, and they do it immediately with that massacre. Yeah. It's like, oh, is this going to be different? Is this going to be like crazy different? Yeah, I think if you watch one, you have to watch the other. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Like they work as a pair. They're wine and cheese, you know? Can't have cheese without wine. Can't have wine without cheese. And that's why I'm an alcoholic. All right. So, Jeff, we now have 2 more movies to throw on our the best horror movies ever made list. 64 titles strong. And oh yeah, while you were gone, something happened. Oh, Jack Frost got a little lower.
No.
Yeah. Hatching came up to 37, just behind Mad God.
Oh, under Mad God, really?
Yeah.
I understood the hatching.
I had my problems with hatching. So let's start with Last Shift.
Oof.
I think this is like a top 30. I think it's a top half.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know that it's guaranteed a spot in the top 20. Like, I'm looking at The Dark and the Wicked, and I know how much you like The Dark and the Wicked.
And Dead Alive.
And Dead Alive. I mean, that's tough. It's better than Rubber.
That we know.
Even with how much we like Rubber.
I think my opinion would be, I don't know. Yeah, it would go under Dead Alive, but I don't know if you'll let me put it above The Strangers.
I was staring at number 23.
Wow.
So it's
that was better than The Strangers?
That's what my gut tells me.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. I mean, they're similar in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think The Cult just puts it over the edge. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. Malum now. And I think this is where it gets tricky because I think I liked Malum more than Last Shift.
See, I didn't.
Yeah.
So now it's getting really.
Is this just the new 24?
Do we just put Last Shift / Malum because they're the same movie?
No, I think they're distinctly different movies. That was the whole point of talking for an hour, Jeff.
I would think 26.
26.
I would rather watch The Strangers and 1974's Black Christmas.
See, there's where you and I differ. I would rather watch The Strangers, but not Black Christmas. But you know what? We don't make the rules.
I don't know why we put Black Christmas there then. I don't get it.
Look, the science cannot be argued with. Is Malum worse than The Stranger? No. No, it is not. And, all right, 25.
All right.
Sorry, Sorry, Liv Tyler's The Strangers. It's got knocked down another peg.
Oof.
All right, 66. 66 movies, man. We're almost there. We're almost there. You know, only 600 more. I was gonna think of something funny, and it didn't happen.
The first person that Venmos us $700, we will fly to wherever you are and record in your house.
Oh man,
a live viewing.
I cannot move any of this shit. That's not happening.
I didn't say it would be top quality.
We have a standard, Jeff. All right. So that's Malum, and that's Last Shift. And Jeff, what you been up to this week? 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
2?
I don't know. You had a vacation, so everything runs together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, vacation.
Even for me.
Yeah, man. Went on vacation. Went to the Universal Studios. That was dope. And surprisingly, I got a shit ton of movies in as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will kind of just rapid fire, and then if you want to talk about one, you stop me. So I watched back to back The Shining and Doctor Sleep.
Okay.
I rated it 1,000 out of 10. Fucking love both of those movies. Because I finally got. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh, I said I finally got my Shining in 4K, which.
Okay, there you go. There you go. And you just went through the book not that long ago. Is that right, or am I crazy?
No, it was right before Doctor Sleep came out, because you told me that I should at least read the book first.
Okay.
And that I would understand more. And so it was right before Doctor Sleep came out. I still remember all of it, but God, those movies are so good.
Was it weird watching them like that? Because The Shining movie has very little to do with that book. And then you watch Doctor Sleep, and it's all the mystical shit that Stanley Kubrick left out. Like,
it was a little bit weird as far as I can't remember her name, but the witch that takes the shine, basically. That was left out of Kubrick's vision, but so that was a little strange. But other than that, I think watching The Shining and then basically watching the ending of Doctor Sleep just fucking beautiful.
Okay.
Let's see. Next up, I watched Soft and Quiet. 3 out of 10. That's not.
Yes, I fully recognize that the ways that movie fucked me up is not going to be everyone else's experience, but
yeah, no, I don't recommend that one. I watched The Retaliators. Have you heard about this movie?
Mm-mm.
So, my whole family super into Ice Nine Kills, and they made a song with Motley Crue and Jacoby called The Retaliators. Love that song. Listened to it since it came out. Super dope. I never knew it was actually based off a movie. Basically, the synopsis is that this guy's daughter gets taken, or no, she witnesses something, ends up getting murked, and then he's trying to find the guy, hires kind of like a private investigator type of dude, and private investigator finds the dude that killed the daughter, and secretly has like a basement where same thing kind of happened to his wife. He found the killer and like fucking tortured him. So then he brought the dad back into the basement, and he's like, look, you can do the same thing that I did, and I feel so much better. Yeah, the story's kind of weird, but it's got, Spencer Charnas from Ice Nine Kills. It's got Jacoby in it. It's got just a ton of different musicians. It's got music by the Who, Jacoby. I kill like it's got so many different people in it. I want to say that there was Motley Crue. Tommy Lee was in it.
Uh-huh. I see that.
Like this movie is just wild.
So who was Jed in the movie?
Jed. I'd probably have to see a picture.
Okay.
Are you talking about Jacoby's character?
No. No, Mark Menchaca. He was I like him a lot. He was in Ozark. He was Russ Langmore in Ozark if you watch that. I'm just curious what role he played in the movie.
He was the PI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Neither
was
here
the
nor there. I
PI.
was just curious.
Yeah. So pretty good acting. The only part that fell kind of that fell kind of short was the acting from the lead actor, which was Bishop. Um, he just had a very B-rated, I don't know, type of acting to him.
Yeah, he
I don't
thought
know.
he was in a
Probably
different movie.
yeah. Just it didn't hit. But my favorite part was that Ivan Moody from Five Finger Death Punch is in this super big gang. He's basically the number two to this big gang, and Jacoby is his brother, who like fucks up a lot and goes missing, and then he's looking and like beating the shit, or Ivan Moody's beating the shit out of people trying to find his brother. But
Wow.
something I think would be up your alley. It kind of gave me. I'm not gonna. It's kind of putting a little bit of a crown on it, but for you, anyways, it gave me a little bit of like a Green Room vibe,
Okay.
just a smidgen.
This
Yeah,
this this is gonna send me down a rabbit hole. Like what?
it did for me too.
Why does this exist? And the the only piece of trivia for this movie: the members of Five Finger Death Punch demanded to eat filet mignon for lunch every day, or they would not work.
Yep.
Who do these guys think they are?
You can watch it on Prime, by the way.
Sure.
What else did I watch?
Yeah.
I watched The Voices with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
You seen that one?
It's when it came out.
Yeah. Older movie. Is okay. All right, and then starts the A24 list. Rapid fire once again. I watched Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson. Fucking solid. Um, I'm probably gonna butcher Machina.
Ex Machina. Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking
Okay.
love that movie.
Dude, so good. It's super good.
Oh, that's when my love affair with Alex Garland began.
Dude. Yeah. No, that was good. That was a good slow burn. Um, to be honest, I did not see the ending coming whatsoever.
Okay.
She made it so believable that they were just gonna live together forever, and then when she fucking left, I was starstruck. I was like, oh my god. Um, finally saw one that I've been wanting to, Swiss Army Man.
Okay. Yes.
I expected different. I'm not saying it's bad, but I just expected different. It's interesting.
It was interesting. That's for damn sure.
It's- um, and then I finally saw Beau is Afraid, and we'll probably have to start another podcast on that movie so I can talk about it for the next 3 years.
Yes.
But it's yeah, just watch that one. I won't give any spoilers because it's super good. Ari Aster has become, if not number one, definitely my top three on people who I will just watch anything that they put out.
Yeah, I don't think I could make my list that small, but he is absolutely on it. He exists on that list. I want to see the short movie that inspired that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I noticed that when I was looking it up because I was like, where the fuck did this movie even come from? And then I saw that it was a short story. And this is one of those things where, like I was saying last time, I need to get into the short stories and the YouTube 30-minute horror movies and all that shit. I really need to jump on that.
Yes. Well, sounds like you had a grand old time.
Oh yeah. You watch anything or do anything super fun?
So, well, while you were gone, we had a brief conversation about it. I won't get too far into it. I watched Cobweb.
Oh.
And that was pretty good. Then I watched a better movie. Talk to Me.
Whoa. Oh.
So, I knew nothing about that movie going into it. Like,
okay.
Literally nothing. I saw the poster. I saw a bunch of people talking about it. And that was it. I loved it. It was good. It was very unexpected. It's the closest thing I could relate it to is Smile.
Okay.
And I don't mean that as a negative thing. For those who have seen Smile, it's just like that kind of story. This like infectious thing, right? And the way that they introduce that, the way that they deal with that, the way they all of it, everything in this movie I thought was fantastic. It immediately jumped up, close to the top of the list for the year. And of course they're making a fucking sequel with the number 2 in it. Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Fast and Furious did it. Everybody's got to do it.
But I can't wait till they get to Talk 3 Me. Talk to me 3. I guess.
I mean, when you said Talk 3 Me, it almost sounded like Talk Through Me.
Yeah, well,
so I don't know if that would tie into the
story. Hey, maybe there's some of that. Talk for Me.
Oh.
There we go. Now we're getting to it.
and then 5 just is, Talk to Me 5.
And there is no 5. By then they've rebooted and it's just Talk to Me. Or just Talk.
Or once again they take the Fast and Furious route. It's just called Talk 5.
Talk Me. Anyway, I recommend that movie. Fun story about that. In another conversation with some friends. Oh shit, I broke it. I broke the thing. In another conversation with some friends, someone had asked me like, "Hey," or they posted something, a trailer for. They posted a trailer for Cobweb, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that was. I like that, But Talk to Me was better." And then they jumped in. They're like, "Good enough to go see it in a theater?" And I was like, "Absolutely." A couple hours later, yeah, that was pretty good. Fuck, dude.
Oh, what it's like to not have kids and just fucking
right? Just be able to drop literally everything, run out the door. Yeah, good acting, good uncomfortable stuff, good makeup work and visuals, and just all. The soundtrack was killer too.
Nice.
Yes.
They're A24 does this thing where they make stuff from movies. Like they did the hot dog hands from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm-hmm.
And they did just like little props like that. They're making the hand.
Yes. I need that.
Be on the lookout, dude, because that sword from The Green Knight goes for like fucking $3,000.
Oh, I got it. No, don't you worry about it.
Be on the hunt for that one.
Don't you worry about that. I mean, but that was the biggest thing. I don't want to rehash this, but I have to. Just in case, just in case we share listeners with that other thing that I do.
Okay.
Jeff, have you heard of the show Deep Fake Love? The look on your face says it all.
I picture it. It's weird.
Deep Fake Love is probably not as weird as you think it is. it is in that category of trash TV that my wife and I sometimes like to sit down and watch. Your Married at First Sights, your Love is Blinds, your all that stuff.
Pretty sure. Yep. Got it.
The premise of this movie or show, just to break it down, 5 couples come to this place. They're split up. They each go to a house. They inject with a turkey baster 10 singles into those houses, who apparently are paid by the number of times they try to seduce one of these people. Chaos ensues. And then at the end of every week, each person is shown videos of their partner, some of which are deep faked. It's psychological torture. It's awful.
Oh my God, that's fucked up.
It is one of the most batshit crazy things I've ever even considered. We have all these movies coming out about how AI is going to be bad, and then this happens in the real world.
Oh my God. I would not be okay.
It's rough, man.
What's the what's the prize? Like, if you're able to make it through,
100,000.
That's it.
So it's not about making it through. It's about, as a couple, because when you see these clips, you have to mark whether you think it is real or fake. Each couple is scored on the times that they were correct. So those with the most correct answers, how well do you know this person? Is that a thing that they did, or is that a fake thing that they did? I'm just going to spoil this because
Okay.
I mean, it should kind of be seen just so we don't repeat our mistakes in the future. We started out with 5 couples. One of those couples left early. At the end, there were 4. 3 of those couples won. They all tied.
Damn.
And the couple that didn't win, were they not happy?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because they're going to hit fake.
And they split up. They did not have a good experience. I mean, to be honest, so I looked it up, and there's a thing on the internet with these shows, like, who's still together? There's always like 10 articles that show up. And from what I can tell, that couple that didn't get the money is the only one of those that is not at least like friendly with each other. But I am surprised because every single person on this show was doing some business that you would think would not be cool when you're in a committed relationship, if you know what I'm saying.
Fuck.
Like, for real. Like, really.
No.
Yeah, it's a wild thing, man. We got totally engrossed in that for a little bit, and I have regrets. But then again,
I'm intrigued. I might start watching.
Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. They're hour-long episodes. I should also mention it is Spanish from Spain. Just so you know. There was, it appears, I think there was an English dub version if you really want to go that route. But that was pretty much it. Not a lot.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't get too far into it because obviously there's an entire episode about it that you guys can go listen to if you missed it. But heard you and Skylar watch The Hatching.
Yes. That was all right.
And you both all right. I thought that was gonna be right up your alley.
I again, my thoughts are out there.
No, I know.
It was and it wasn't.
Skylar liked it more.
Yes, yeah. Like I said, it was and it wasn't.
Okay.
They could have done things a little better, in my opinion.
Okay.
Is what it is. Jeff, we've come to the time where you pick out some news. But I also want to make sure that you have picked out a movie. So I'm just going to mention that. Okay, cool. So you got any news?
Nothing too crazy. I haven't been looking just because of vacation and work and all that stuff. Some cool releases coming out as far as our physical collectors out there. It looks like Pumpkinhead is getting a 4K release with a dope looking steelbook if you're into that one. Gonna be, I guess, just a Best Buy exclusive. So,
okay.
But yep. So that's kind of cool. Also, Halloween H2O is also getting another steelbook. Or not another steelbook, but a steelbook. Looks okay if you're into that movie.
If you like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, you might like that steelbook.
Possibly. We got another look for the last voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm stoked. I'm obviously more excited about Bill Skarsgård Nosferatu, but this will hold me till then because I just have a feeling that that movie's not going to come out for a long time. Those movies just keep on pushed back.
Yeah, I'm just still. I don't care about Dracula. You know what I mean? Done to death.
I don't know. I still have that vision of the Van Helsing Dracula in my head, and I want somebody to either come close or over that. And so I have high hopes for when these type of movies come out that just look fucking gory as shit, and it's just Dracula, because that's what I really wish that Van Helsing would have done with that Dracula, as he looked good from what I remember. But yeah, I'm excited.
Maybe I'm just a little broken on vampires too because of how much I watch What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. See, I barely got through half of season 1.
You're missing out.
So yeah, no, I know. That's what I hear. I like the movie. The movie has so much value to me that I don't want to tarnish its memory.
That's the wrong way to look at it, but I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I think the only other one that I noted was from my newly found niche that I had last year, about really bad Christmas horror movies. We are getting a Werewolf Santa movie that's coming out this year.
Because of course.
I am so down to get that. And I'm excited for that one. And for more and more to come, just because in my eyes, you can do zero wrong with a Christmas B-rated horror movie.
I don't know about that.
That's fine. We can disagree. That's the whole point of this podcast. If we agreed on anything, we'd have nothing to talk about. That's fine.
No,
on the other hand,
we could gush a little bit, you know?
I enjoy the shit out of it.
What about you gonna watch this Sharknado documentary? Because that, you can do no wrong with a shark movie.
Well, I saw Santa Jaws, and I would like to combat your statement.
Wait, does that combat both of our statements?
No, mine's still valid.
I don't know about that. That's something I'll watch. And you're also not going to mention the Outwaters on VHS, man? Come on. They have an orange one. They have a fucking...
Oh, wow.
And a yellow one. Remember those orange VHS tapes, man? Those things are so cool.
The Nickelodeon?
Yeah. Good Burger, man.
That's... Can't wait for Good Burger 2. You can never do wrong with a Good Burger movie.
I mean, look, Kel's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Keenan is doing a lot of stuff, but Kel is not doing anything.
Yeah. No, you're not doing shit. Yeah, I mean, that's cool if you're a physical collector and like to see a movie that, looks like this the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any way to play it, but that doesn't stop me from having exactly one VHS.
Oh, bro, I got you.
I could make no. I have two. I have two.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I have one. I actually have a dope one
Hmm.
that it's collecting dust in the garage because I don't have any VHS tapes, but I own one.
Same. Did
you see any news that you're stoked about?
Not really. Like not super really. I don't. The Fall of House Usher trailer looks dope. That show looks fucking. Even you talk about Ari Aster, I'm talking about Mike Flanagan. Fucking.
Yeah, that's he's up there as well. I'm going into that one blind.
From here on out, I will absolutely go. I watched it on accident.
Okay.
But yeah, and then I did see that Ben Wheatley, who directed The Kill List, which I think I've talked to you about several times, is making a Brexit-themed zombie series, which, I mean, that just sounds weird.
Yeah.
That just sounds weird. And then I wanted to ask your opinion, because the internet was ablaze, Jeff, when they found out that the director of Happy Death Day is going to direct Scream 7.
Mm-hmm.
And by ablaze, I mean in a bad way.
Yes.
And to a point, I can see that, because the Radio Silence crew killed it, as far as I'm concerned. What is your thoughts on that?
What did he do?
So he did both of the Happy Death Days. He did that Freaky movie with
that's right.
Vince Vaughn. Christopher Landon. We Have a Ghost. Paranormal Activity: The Marked Ones. And Next of Kin. Well, he wrote Next of Kin. He actually did most of the Paranormal Activity writing.
Okay.
With the exception of the first one, of course. He did the screenplay for Disturbia. That hot Shia LaBeouf movie.
That's right.
Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Dude, that movie was solid.
Yeah.
I did love the fuck out of that movie.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. I don't know. He's got kudos in two different ways. I think that Paranormal Activity does have that on edge feeling, which is I would think very important in the Scream movies, because this is supposed to be as realistic as it gets, in my opinion. And so he's got that. I mean, that's the scary part about Scream, right? Is that it could actually happen. So
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's goes a lot of wacky places too, right? Like,
yeah, the story does, which, I mean, you have to change and you have to adapt if you're going to keep on making movies. But at the core of Scream movie, the franchise, it's something that could actually happen.
Yeah,
I think that's why it really freaked people out the first time, the first movie.
Yeah, the basis of the scares is it could be anyone, and it could be anyone in the real world too.
Yeah, and he's also got the he's able to mix a good concept with comedy, and just kind of that's kind of what I saw for the Scout's Guide for the Zombie Apocalypse. It was that mix of, it's a good zombie flick. If you like zombie flicks, you'll probably like it, and then on top of it, it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. I think that's what scares a lot of people, though, is that they think that he's gonna turn Ghostface into a joke.
Yeah, and I there's a lot of that, like, happening around movies, right? Like, most movies aren't just sincere anymore. They're like sincere, and then there's the jokes. And don't get me wrong, Scream has had plenty of, jokey characters along the lines. I mean,
Yeah.
Seth Green and Matthew Lillard were both Dewey, all kind of comic relief in those movies. I just like what those guys did so much, and I get it. They're big time now. They're going off and doing their own thing, but I think that's probably where a lot of the trepidation stems from. But I'm still just as excited to watch it. I actually really enjoyed both of those Happy Death Day movies. They split that line really, really well to me.
Yeah, I think the only part that I'd be worried about is he's doing good in his own kind of universe with he's got, Freaky, and that's his own thing, and Happy Death Day is very similar, and he's just in this own little bubble, and then he's breaking into a very big bubble that people love and cherish, and some of people's favorite movies and characters, and
but that's, you could say that about all. You could say that about the guys who took over in the first place, right? Like they did a VHS segment, they did a little movie, they did a Southbound segment, they did Ready or Not, and then they jumped into Scream.
But those to me are more similar to Scream than what he has previously done.
There's absolutely, I can see both ways, right? They have the scares part of Scream. He's got parody's probably not the right, the commentary, let's say. And I think across the board, they all have storytelling chops. So I see no reason not to be excited.
I'm kind of just excited that it's gonna keep going.
Yeah, and that in itself is a scary thing, right? Like, at what point do they run out of gas?
Never when they got family, you know what I mean?
At what point does Wes Craven rise from the grave? Like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah. There was a moment, we finished Scream 3 and then we're like, fuck, man, that was it.
There it is. Yeah, I think I mentioned a while back, like, I want to see them take this franchise places. So I'm hoping that they do that. I'm hoping that this injection of new talent does that. But we'll see.
I think it will.
We will see. I think the indication is that those guys, the Radio Silence guys, are still producing the movie. So I think they will still have some say in it. Anyway.
I hope so.
I think that's about it.
Sweet.
What are we doing? What are we doing next week?
You're either gonna love this idea or you're gonna.
I broke our video feed again because I have to look at what you're sending me, but that's okay. Here, I'm just gonna move you right here. Look at that. Oh.
Let me know when we're good to go.
This is just wonderful video content. Go ahead and drop it in. It is not going to show up on the video, so the surprise will still be there.
Okay. I'm telling you, man, you're either going to love that I'm doing this or you're going to really hate it. But you know what? We'll have something to talk about next week.
Oh. Okay. So I don't even have a.
Oh, I threw him off his rocker.
All right, so there's a group of people, right? And they're going to. Something traumatic happened when they were children. Okay. Something traumatic happened. And now they are on a quest for revenge. And they are going to the heart of that trauma. They're going to kill Kermit the motherfucking Frog.
All right.
That joke goes a layer deeper than it. Yeah, you'll find out. Cool. So that'll be next week, I guess. I suppose. Jeff, thanks for being here. Thanks for doing whatever it is you just did to me. That's what she said.
Ooh.
Everybody.
No Michael Scott.
Thanks for listening. Hey, we forgot to mention that there's a video component this week.
There is. We are currently live recording.
Which I broke several times. But that's okay.
Yes. Yeah, we'll get the hang of it, and you guys just stick around for the fun.
Well, it's just like I forget that I can't use Discord whenever I'm recording what Discord looks like now, can I? No, I cannot.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And we will see you next week with a new terrible movie. I mean it this time.
Oh, yes.
See y'all later.